We have arrived at Henderson Lineup. Need to get a little bit of work done on the rig. Morning. Welcome to Tigner Adventures.
Good morning.
You can see that we are at Henderson Lineup. They're located in Grants Pass, Oregon, and they do suspension work. So we're going to get some things done on the motorhome, and we're going to go show you what we're doing today as they make those changes. Our biggest concern is our tag axle. It has some issues with the shear spring that is starting to rip away. We need to get that fixed, and then we also need to get it aligned. It doesn't really have that much of an issue with alignment, but we haven't ever had one, so we want to check it all out and make sure everything's in top-notch order. And we're having some issues with our sway bar, so we got to get all that stuff done. Doesn't matter if you have an older rig or a newer rig, these guys work on all of them. They all seem to have different issues that these guys can take care of, and they're really good at it. So they have a pretty good sized shop here. The good thing is they can get big rigs in here. So we're just checking in this morning. We'll actually be here for 3 days. We have a big list of things to be done, and we want to make sure we get them all done if we can. So you guys know that I like to do my repairs myself normally, and so I do have a playlist right here that goes through and has a listing of other things that I've done myself. So it is kind of hard to watch someone else work on my rig, but some of these items, especially the shear spring, it's like there's no way I could do that myself. So this process started back in March when we were in Tucson at the Escapees conference. There, if you look back at this video here, we were there with RV Life, and we were kind of, we belong to Escapees, and so we were there for their convention, and we were watching a booth for RV Life, and Henderson Lineup was right next to us, and so we got talking to them, had them come out and do an inspection on our rig and kind of point out a few different issues we've got. Well, they couldn't do the work there, so we are here to do the work. This is their actual shop. There's places that you can take it around the country to other places, but these guys come highly recommended, and so we wanted to kind of check out their shop. And since we were kind of in Oregon, we were in Washington, so we just kind of diverted our summer trip this year to come down through Grants Pass and just check this out. There's no tax, no sales tax in Oregon, so there's another benefit of having this done here. So they have this nice big pit here. So we'll go check this out after we pull the rig over it, that way we can get under the rig to look at everything. So that'd be really nice, instead of having to lay on my back. Into the shop we go. Interesting little issues with the tag axle here, so they will be looking at this and trying to figure out how to make this all work, but the new shear springs will be a good addition. Here are the shear springs. This is what a new one looks like. It's actually built up of two sides, so two of these go together, and that's what the axle is connected to. We have Rich here from Henderson Lineup, and I actually met Rich in Tucson when I was telling you that we were back at that Escapees conference, and so I asked Rich if we could just maybe find out some information about Henderson.
The company has been around since 1965, started by a World War II bomber pilot, and now it's down to the third generation. So we know a little bit about RVs and chassis and suspensions and stuff like that. So
I've heard nothing but good praise and everything, and you guys are doing products that you do plus other people. You're authorized, and then other people are authorized to install your products too, right?
Yeah, so we're in a unique position. We didn't start out and say, hey, let's build some parts for RVs. We actually have a shop, and we're working on his RV here right behind us, and that's actually how it got started. We were working on certain chassis, and there was problems with certain items, and so we ended up developing a part to fix a problem that we found, and over the years we started a division now It's called supersteerparts.com, where we not only install parts here, but we do have a network of dealers across the country that recommend our products and do the installations. And some of our products actually you can do yourself. You can bolt on. So there's a lot of options for the do-it-yourselfer as well.
Like ours is a Ford F-53. Is that mainly geared around a Ford F-53? Is the ones that have all the problems?
That's a great question. It's not that we said, hey, let's make everything for Ford F-53s. It just happens to be that chassis has the most challenges, and so we consequently have the most products for that chassis type.
It works for us since we're a Ford F-53.
Yeah, exactly, like this one.
Yeah. So, and our biggest challenge too is that we actually have a tag axle. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of complicated a little bit. So you guys know that the majority of the work I do on my rig, I mean pretty much everything I do on my rig has always been me. Mm-hmm. But there are certain things that you can't do yourself. And like he was saying, they do have a lot of different products that you can do yourself. But at this point, I give them a list of things to do, and I'm just here, so I'm just going to have them just do it all, because it's not worth saving out of the money that we're going to spend. We'll save like $600 if I was to try to do these two things myself, which is going to take a lot of time, when I can just have them do everything, be done with it. And when it comes to shear springs, that would be really hard to do yourself.
Yeah,
right?
It definitely would be.
I'm watching these guys and just kind of wondering, wow.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll show you some of the footage of the work they're doing. But
yeah.
I mean, these guys they've forgotten more about RVs than I'll probably ever know. One of our technicians has been here for almost 30 years working for us, so he's seen everything. And so when you have that kind of level of expertise, you as an RV owner want to make sure you get it done right and get it done right the first time. So what you're paying for is the knowledge, the convenience of getting it done properly. And so
all at one time.
Yep, good on you for that.
Yep, so that's good. Yeah, it's a whole safety issue, right?
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is all about safety, how the rig handles. And you guys know I had an accident last year on the freeway. I thought the thing was going to roll over. Luckily it didn't. It's just that backwards movement. I always feel like my butt's going to reach around the curve before I get my front end around the curve. So those are the things that we're addressing today. So anyway.
That's great. Well, I just want to say, we love customers. I mean, without you guys, we wouldn't even have a business. So it's great that we're out there solving problems. I always say we don't want to sell people parts. We want to solve those problems. And meeting you down in Tucson, when we did your free chassis inspection, looked at everything. Obviously, we must have found something that needed to be done, and so I'm glad we're able to give you that service that you needed.
Well, hey, thanks, Rich. Appreciate your time.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you giving me a chance to talk to your database. And if you guys have any questions, we actually have a YouTube channel as well, Super Steer Parts on YouTube, and we'll definitely be letting people know about your channel as well. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Well, we are making progress. So they got one shear spring done. Look at that. It's not all falling apart, so that's pretty good. Well, this shear spring is definitely not in very good shape. Look, it goes all the way around to this side. Definitely needed to be replaced. Well, today is another day. You got to check on the rig. One of the nice things of getting your rig worked on here is they do let you park here overnight. They do have electric for you also, so it works out pretty nice. Besides the customer lounge during the day. Hi, Tansy. Are you ready to go back over to the recreation center?
It's the lounge.
The lounge. Are you ready to go back over to the lounge?
Yeah.
You liked it over there, huh? Keeps jumping in her cage in the morning because she wants to go to the lounge and walk around and play. So while they're working on your rig, they have this nice convenience center that you can come and sit in, relax, free Wi-Fi. And look at this wall here. They have all these different things on this wall of the different parts that they put onto different rigs to help improve the steering and stabilization of it. All right, we are back over the bay again. We did the shear springs yesterday, and now they're going to be looking at the track bar on the back. Here's the new track bar they installed for our rear end. And then this little issue we have right here is not going to be able to be resolved here, but that hasn't changed over quite a few years, so we're going to look for another bushing there, but other than that, that's what we got. All right, this is the track bar up front that's been installed. And that keeps the leaf springs from moving around right to left. Kind of stabilizes everything. So I had 4 new shocks put on. These are old shocks. So do they go up and down real easy? I mean, are they supposed to move at all, or how does it actually work?
So Bilsteins are usually, they're a gas charged shock, which is different from the way the Conies work. So they're a monotube. They're fairly stiff in compression, but in rebound, we just find that generally the Bilsteins are about equal in compression and rebound. The Conies just are a better shock. They're developed to be softer in compression and stronger in rebound, so you get a better ride, but also better control of that excess body movement.
This is Tommy, by the way.
Hello.
And you're very active in the business here, right? Because your family owns it.
Yep, I'm 3rd generation in the business.
3rd generation, yeah. So anyway, decided to get our shocks replaced, so this is what the old ones are. At this point, we're gonna do the front end alignment. Trying to get everything into alignment. So the last step that we actually did was I got with Tommy, and we were going through and doing a driving test to see how the rig handled, to see the super steer that I put on there last year at Quartzsite myself. It would pull just a little bit to the left. And so what that is a big shock that keeps your center line in one spot and keeps you going down the road straight for the most part. The roads always account for a lot of back and forth things, however the road's tapered off or not or whatever. And so because of that, you adjusted accordingly. So Tommy went out with me, we did a little test drive. He got under there and actually just moved it.
You always want to use a paint stick or something to get yourself a reference point. That way you know how far you have moved it.
So now I can just drive along and I can take my hands off the wheel, and eventually it'll drift one way or the other a little bit, but man, driving wise, it's a lot better. And with all the additions on there now, we went out on this little test range course they've got. Man, it handled like a dream. I was kind of worried, but it was so stable. I mean, it was nice. So, and you can just feel it in the front end, having those extra tag shear springs on the tag axles lifted the back up, and you can feel that in the front end as you're driving.
Well.
Have you had fun the last few days? Huh?
Yeah, I want to get down and play.
Tansy's been playing in the, what's that called? Lounge, yeah. So what was the lounge like?
Well, it was pretty nice, about 50 by 50, so she could run around and play. There was another cat there.
She doesn't play well with other cats.
But she thinks it's interesting.
Yeah. Kept her entertained anyway.
Yeah. And every morning after the first time, she'd go and get in her backpack ready to go. And she did that today. Now she wants to get down.
So this whole ordeal, we've been working on this arrangement thing since we met these guys back in Tucson at the Escapees rally. And they did an inspection, got under and looked at everything, kind of gave me an idea what was going on. And so we knew there was work that had to be done. And so we thought, well, we're going to be close to Oregon. We could, so we kind of redid our route and everything to get us to come down here. And we finally got the time dialed in and the parts figured out and things like that. So it's worked really well. And, and we got the work done. So I give these guys a 5-star rating, I'll tell you, because everyone I've talked to has really loved their work and everything, and they do a really good job. So anyway, we're done with that, and the rig drives fantastic. Man, couldn't have asked for more. Thanks for coming along on this adventure, and remember, if you like these kind of videos that talks about how to work on your rig and everything, I do have a playlist right here, and it will be listed on the end of the screen too, that the end screen that comes up, of all our DIY type videos. So check that out. You can also check out our summer 2023 trip, a whole 8,000 miles of driving and having all kinds of adventures, and we'll just keep on going. So thanks for coming along. See you later. Bye.
Bye.